What's a place easy to enter, but hard to exit? Warm shower on a winter morning. The bed before that shower. My friend got stuck at a strip club because he was drunk. The place was too dark and he couldn't find the exit. I guess a guy could do worse, but once you're out of singles, they'll come help you find the door and even push you out through it. Been there, done that. Debt. Your finger in a plastic-lid straw hole. A bad sleeping pattern. There should be a pattern. Prison. This reminded me that sharks' teeth are pointed inward so that if a fish tries to wriggle free it will only get more stuck. Stay out of sharks' mouths, kids. Edit. This was nice to wake up to. Stay out of sharks' mouths. Thank God you told me that. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Scientology. Edit. I'm not Karen. Also, if you're looking for a deep dive into this cult, get at me Zenu. Leah Remini's book, Troublemaker, is an excellent read. Any cult, really. Raised Jehovah's Witness, can also confirm. They blackmail you by convincing your friends and family to pretend you're dead. A well. Why did the blind man fall into the well? Because he couldn't see that well. Hotel California. The ceilings have tacky mirrors on them. The on-site bar doesn't serve wine. You can hear voices in the corridors, so definitely not enough soundproofing. Also, there's an unkillable beast roaming the premises. 2 out of 5 stars. IKEA. Time to look at every showroom and fantasize it's my actual home. Addiction to something. Whether it be cigarettes, food, heroin, or what have you, you'll never admit your addiction until it's already way past a sensible point. It's not a physical place, but more of a mental thing, but still. Heroin. Remember when Frodo was about to drop the one ring in Mount Doom and Sam was like just drop it and Frodo was like haha. Frick you Sam, it's mine, that's heroin. Reddit. Gym memberships. The military. If you go on without a plan for getting out, they'll make getting out seem like an insurmountable obstacle and the only other option is to give up another 4 to 6 years of your life dealing with bureaucracy. Negativity. It's so easy to get down on yourself and get into a negative mindset. So you try to be positive but then you become worried that you are too positive and be inevitably disappointed, so you go back to being negative again. Being too positive isn't what worries me. My fear is getting close to people and them realizing my positivity is fake. I'm a big fat fake phony living a life of anxiety and depression, with a big smile on my face, doing my best to help make others smile. I feel like my life is a lie, so I never let anyone close enough to realize it. A toxic relationship just got out of one a month ago and I can tell you now for some reason I would still go back. It's horrible to think about but I still miss her. New Jersey. The only place in the universe that's free to enter, but you have to pay to leave. An escape room. This is actually a really appropriate answer. Just did my first one recently, can't wait to try more. I go to parties, sometimes until 4. It's hard to leave when you can't find the door. Fudging mirror maze. Been here for 3 years now. Depression. It's like entering a different world you can't leave. Edit. Sorry if that's a bit dark lol. Edit. Thank you for the gold whomever you may be. It's the first time I've ever gotten gold and don't fully understand what it means, but I have a little shield next to my name so that's cool. Also, for anyone who may be struggling with depression, anxiety or anything else, please feel free to PM me if you need to talk to someone and feel alone. The EU apparently. Edit. Lem take this opportunity to give a shout out to my SoundCloud. The grave. Minecraft cave network. Torches on the left going in, right coming out. Right equals return. A conversation with my grandmother. Definitely a casino. Debt. It starts with a I'll spend some of next month's pay this month, but then the next month you do the same, plus a little more. When it's just numbers on a page, it doesn't feel like you've spent anything. You pay the minimum and spend more than you pay, add on the interest and it gets ahead of you. Before you know it, you can owe half your annual income and you're not even sure what the hell you got in return for it. Have fun changing your lifestyle to ramen and saying no to social events for the next 5 years. Hell. Quicksand. The friend zone. Your mother. A psychiatric hospital. Yeah, I admitted myself and found it to be a living hell. Actually made my mental state worse because it was nothing but boredom and suffering in a cell all day. I had to practically beg to leave before they'd change their mind and say no, you need to stay. It happened to a lot of folks there and it scared the living crap out of me. Never again. Eating disorders. Is it wrong that I read this as eating dinosaurs? The weird side of YouTube. Pet adoption center. It can be easy to leave, it's just not easy to leave without taking an extra passenger home with you. Marriage. Came here looking for this one. Came here looking to get out of this one. A black hole. Incredibly easy to enter, but getting out? HA. Gangs. Came here to say this. Surprised it's not higher up on the list. A prison in North Korea. North Korea in general. Auschwitz around 1939. Just ask inmate 4859. The Hotel California. Hotel California. Hotel California. Hotel California. Vim. At least for some people. What's so hard about running? Coding stuff. I don't know some people. Blight Town. I don't ever not take the master key. I'm in and out in 15 minutes. Stay hollow. The mental hospital. When I was 15 my therapist asked me if I would want some help at a hospital. I just said yes because I was desperate and listened to any adult's advice. A week later I was sent to the hospital. A week passed by and I was slowly getting worse. I didn't care about my hygiene anymore. Another week passed by, nothing helped. I felt like this just didn't work for me so I asked if I could leave. They, the workers, said no. I didn't understand because I thought if you voluntarily entered the hospital and wasn't in any danger to yourself or anyone else, you could leave whenever you wanted to, but no. So another week passed by. I was desperate at this point. I started to feel suicidal and was begging them to let me out. They just treated me like air, like I was nothing. Occasionally they came in to get out their anger on me, calling me awful things, and telling me what kind of awful person I was. I started to plan out my suicide and was ready to die at that point because I'd rather die than be locked up in a cell like I was a criminal. After 2 months I got a bad ear infection and just slept on a mattress all alone in my room. My parents came to visit me and felt bad for me so they took me with them home. Then returned me to the hospital when I got healthy again. But finally my therapist came to visit me and saw how horrible and beat up I looked and told the workers that I could leave. If my therapist didn't come, I would probably have to be there for a year, until I turned 16, because when you're 16 you can leave whenever you want. Whoa. That was awful to read. I can't imagine how it must have been to live through. I hope you are doing better and never have to worry about going back. McDonald's Play Center. There is no exit. Edit. Removed the edit because people think thanking people for helping me reach a karma milestone is begging for upvotes. Indeed, it is one of the more tangible examples of an event horizon that is accessible here on Earth. Once a child passes through the barrier, it is utterly impossible to remove him from the play center. Camps of scientists often set up shop in McDonald's stores to observe this phenomenon, and many interesting discoveries have been made. For instance, there is the age-old question: if matter brought into the playpen is irretrievable, does that not violate the universal conservation of information law? It turns out that it does not, due to what has been dubbed the holographic MIC principle. In a sense, all information that enters the playpen is projected flatwards onto the surface of the pen, and may even be projected on the very barrier edge of the universe, if such a thing even exists. Furthermore, Hawking won a MIC Nobel Prize with his theory that playpens gradually lose mass through a process known as play-type radiation, where virtual particles formed at the threshold of McDonald's playpens are separated, sending the unpaired particle outside the horizon out into space, a form of energy leak that all singularities exhibit. Abusive relationships. Abusers don't advertise they're abusive so it's easier to enter a relationship with one, but the victim usually has a hard time leaving. Easy to enter Canada without a passport or enhanced license, hard to come back to the US. I crossed over the bridge in Lewiston, NY accidentally, missed the turn for I-190 to Buffalo, with teen daughter and young son in the car. Stop at the first customs booth on the way into Canada. Me. I don't really want to go to Canada. I made a mistake. Customs. No problem. Pull up a little bit and make a U-turn. Head back home. Me. Okay. Thanks. Us customs. Citizenship. Me. Us. C. Why were you in Canada? M. Explains what happened and what I was told by the other guy. C. I need your ID and their, pointing to kids, birth certificates. Me. Hands my license. I don't have their birth certificates. I had no intention of going to Canada. C. How do I know you're a US citizen? Me. I gave you my nice license. Well, so, I don't know. He plays on his computer. Yeah, I know. He was checking some list or another or running my plate or some such thing. And he finally tells me he'll let me go this time, but from now on I should have an enhanced license and at least a birth certificate for my kids. Sheesh. Second this. I went to Canada with my family when I had just turned 16 earlier that year. I had gotten an enhanced ID because we knew we were going to Canada and weren't sure if I'd have a license yet. Then a month later I got my license and we went to Canada. Well, my ID was still valid as was my license, so I had 2 legal forms of ID. Canada didn't care, let us right in. Tried to go home and we got detained because I had too many forms of ID. Lol. Experian online account. They won't let you delete your profile. The only way to contact support is by mail or phone. If you call them, the only option is to upgrade to a monthly paying service. There is no viable option to quit or cancel. I had to have my bank credit card issuer do it. I am an attorney and couldn't get out of it. Didn't say I was a good attorney. With 9 months of experience, I would have to say being born. Sensor doors that are only one way. A warm pool on a cold night. An interrogation room. The bottom of an AskReddit's comment section after it's on the front page. The friend zone. The friend zone doesn't exist without willing participation. Someone is either interested in you or they aren't. There's no reason to continue a one-sided relationship with anyone. If you have romantic feelings for someone who only wants to be friends, it's a waste of time to wait around hoping they'll change their mind. No one owes you their affection against their will, and you deserve to invest energy into a partner who will reciprocate. Falling in love. War. I do not have a penis, but I'm assuming one of the top answers should be sticking your dick in crazy. Probably counts for women as well. Once you get entangled with a crazy person romantically, sexually, and sometimes financially, it can be hell to get out. My aunt just went through hell in a divorce. She was willing to give him way more than 50% just to get out, but he kept pushing and pushing for pretty much everything or close to it. Thank God that's finally over, but she now has to unwind 30+ years of mental and emotional damage from an abusive relationship. Anal. Got this one backwards. Easier to get out than in a bumhole. For me it's Goodwill. I'll enter it and be in there for hours looking at all the new things, checking the value of some things. In fact, we joke that our phone's battery lives drain when in a Goodwill. Creepy uncle's room. The internet. Once you are used to it, it's hard to not live with it. When you're a stepsister, the washing machine.